This public health announcement is brought to you by Stark Industries and the Future Foundation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Stark here. Me and Dr. Reed Richards, but mostly me, have something we'd like to share. We are declaring type 2 diabetes as a public health crisis.
That's right, Stark. Type 2 diabetes is running rampant nowadays. The number of people living with diabetes rose from 200 million in 1990 to 830 million in 2022. According to the World Health Organization, diabetes has been rising rapidly in low and middle income countries and cities.
You think that's bad? Jarvis, pull up the CDC records. According to the CDC, more than 40 million Americans have diabetes, and up to 95% of them have type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes most often develop in people 45 or older, but more and more children, teens, and young adults are also developing it.
Like Mr. Stark said, you are at risk for diabetes if you are above 45. However, you're also at risk if you are obese, have a parent, brother, or sister with type 2 diabetes, are physically active less than 3 times a week, and you are a African American, Hispanic, Latino, American Indian, or an Alaskan Native.
And it only gets worse. 14% of adults aged 18 years and older were living with diabetes, an increase from 7% in 1990. 59% of adults aged 30 years and older living with diabetes were not taking medication for their diabetes in 2022. Diabetes treatments coverage was the lowest in low and middle income countries.
And in 2021, diabetes was the direct cause of 1.6 million American deaths, and 47% of all those deaths were due to diabetes occurring before the age of 70 years old. Another 530,000 kidney disease deaths were caused by diabetes, and high blood glucose causes around 11% of cardiovascular deaths. Now that we've taught you about statistics, let us tell you about how it got this bad. But first, a lesson. You must know what an epidemiological transition is. Epidemiological transitions are a public health theory describing how a population's leading cause of death shifts from an acute infectious diseases to chronic degenerative illnesses as society modernizes and living standards improve.
English, Richards, what he means is that when we grow as a society, diseases like diabetes and cancer, which take a long time to kill you, will end up killing the population rather than diseases like the Spanish flu or Black Death. Diseases that kill you quickly.
Elegantly put, Tony. Anywho, humans have evolved to do the actions that grant them the most benefit. These old habits are causing us harm. There's some irony in this. Humans have always craved things that are salty, sweets, and that have fat in them. It is in our nature. We picked ripe fruits, ate seafood, or collected animal bones due to their fatty marrow. However, since those early days of humanity, we have evolved. Our ancestors used to take in more protein, less fat, and much more fiber and far less sodium than we do now.
And we can't forget the other changes, like how our teeth and intestines show us that animal products were an important part of human diets from the times of Homo erectus, 200,000 years ago to modern today. Yes, you can get your laughs off now. I know how you college students are. With this, the way that meat is now prepared is very concerning. Meat is highly carcinogenic due to compounds formed during the cooking process. Processed meats that have been preserved by smoking, curing, salting, or adding chemical preservatives such as sodium nitrate like bacon and beef jerky have been linked to cancers of the colon, the lungs, and the prostate.
On top of that, nitrates/nitrites have additionally been linked to cancers of the ovaries, stomach, esophagus, bladder, pancreas, and thyroid. In addition, studies analyzing the diets of 103,000 Americans for up to 16 years indicate that those who ate grilled, broiled, or roasted meats more than 15 times per month were 17% more likely to develop high blood pressure than those who ate meat fewer than 4 times per month. Participants who preferred their meats well done were 15% more likely to suffer from hypotension, high blood pressure, than those who ate their meats rare. This leads to you being at risk for diabetes.
See, I knew I was right when I was telling Pepper to not eat all of her steaks well done. Anyway. Now, since we've talked about the evolution, genetics, and biology, it's time for you kids to take notes for Culture and the environment. Culture and environment have a really big impact on raising the risk for type 2 diabetes. You got immigrants coming to America, having to adapt to the new diet, a diet that is full of processed foods that's going into a body that's not used to those type of foods, which means that the body will start to become more resistant to insulin.
The environment may be the biggest culprit of them all. Due to neighborhoods being heavily saturated with convenience stores and fast food outlets and a lack of fresh produce, people are eating more and more processed foods. Lower income communities face higher levels of poverty and restricted access to quality healthcare. The fact that there are not many safe places to walk around in neighborhoods means that people are just opting to stay inside and not move around. Oh, and you can't forget the worst of all, the pollution of the air that is being sent straight into your lungs. Everything me and Mr. Stark have talked about increases the risk of you getting type 2 diabetes.
I'm Tony Stark.
I'm Reed Richards. Have a good night.
Wait. Does this mean I can't have filet mignon anymore?
Stark, you shouldn't be having that anyway.
This concludes the public health announcement.